of St. Louis, Missouri, weighing 200 pounds, he's the Iceman, Tony Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is December 1st, 2018. Welcome to Ryse at the Stronghold. My name is Jim Amata, being joined by legendary Pittsburgh athlete, Mr. Paul Atlas, and the Rev Ron Hunt. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching a milestone in Pittsburgh professional wrestling. It is the second anniversary of Ryse, 24 months in the making.
Ladies and gentlemen of Ryse, I would like to welcome you to this 2-year shindig we got going on tonight. Somebody like shindig. I know I'm excited because the main event, we have 3 opportunities tonight to show you why we're the best thing at Ryse, and it starts with me. And you know it wouldn't be the main event if we didn't have a hotline of my opponent tonight, Gory. And let me tell you what, all that mask and face paint, it made him hard to understand over the phone. But I think all you people tonight will understand what he said once the message is over. So if in the back, would you please play the message? Thank you, That's nice. Tonight, the second anniversary of Ryse Wrestling. I'm here tonight to cure the plague. I'm going to help you all resist the infection. And by God, if this is Gory calling, you better pray to whoever you pray to, because we're not going to take it easy on you tonight. So for anybody else for Gory, leave a message. Oh, I'm Gory. I'm scary. I wear makeup. I spit blood. I'm gonna grab you by the face and eat it, because I'm Gory, and that's what Gory does. And oh man, I'm thinking about wrestling Tony Johnson tonight. I'm petrified. I thought I could do it. I thought I brought enough blood. I thought I had enough face paint, but apparently I don't. So please, if you guys are in the crowd, say a prayer for me. That's you guys. Say a prayer for Gory.
But that sure does sound like Gory, I'll tell you that.
Have you ever heard Gory talk?
I don't know what this guy thinks he's doing with these. He's not fooling anybody. I can guarantee you Gory is going to be here. He's ready for a fight.
The fun and games are over. The Iceman will have to battle the New Age Plague.
And his opponent, hailing from Ogden Marsh, weighing 175 pounds, is the New Age Plague, Gory.
The last time we saw Gory in the Stronghold, it was that classic title for title contest against Matt Conard. Tonight, Gory looks to make his mark on the biggest stage in Ryse history. At the same time, Tony Johnson, who has been on a roll, faces quite possibly the toughest test of his career. What a way to open up the second anniversary show.
I think just adding on top of that, you talked about that historic remix heavyweight title versus our Ryse Grand title. But outside of that, I mean, look at this right now. To kick off the second anniversary event here in Ryse Wrestling, this is the very first time that Tony and Gory, they haven't wrestled each other in over 5 years. This is the first time in 5 years. Guys, we're seeing history already starting for this second year here at Ryse Wrestling.
That's right. They haven't seen each other in 5 years, but what you got to understand right now is Tony Johnson is a completely different wrestler than he was 5 years ago. But Gory's the same man, so this is going to be hot.
Infection, guys. Don't let them spit on you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jim Amata, being joined by legendary Pittsburgh athlete Mr. Paul Atlas and the Rev Ron Hunt, our opening belt for the second anniversary show of Ryse. New Age Plague Gory versus the main event's Tony Johnson. And Paul, to your point, the Tony Johnson we're seeing right here, right now, he's at the peak of his career. Gory has been an institution, an icon on the independent scene. And what a way to open up this event. And Johnson, as technically sound as he is, went to pick the ankle. Gory one step ahead. But we're seeing the Iceman show his technical proficiency. And this may be the key for the Iceman, to use his height and size advantage.
Oh, without a doubt. He wants to use the leverage, he wants to use the size, the height, and even, let's face it, the bulk and strength.
Absolutely. He's going to try to have to ground and grind out Gory, because we know Gory thrives on momentum. Shoots the Iceman off. But again, that size advantage you talked about, Paul.
And let's face it, Gory is technically sound himself, but he's also what you would call a high-flying wrestler. You can tell by the leaps, the moves, the quick moves, and if Tony Johnson can keep him on the mat, he's going to neglect all that, and he's going to have the advantage.
And that's the vicious side of the New Age Plague right there, biting.
Oh, you guys would cheer that.
Deep arm drag from Gory. Lucha pass from the Iceman. Beautiful arm drag from Gory, and Gory is an aerial assassin. The Iceman is not safe out there.
No, he is not.
And that's what makes Gory so dangerous.
Gory looks like he's ready to fly here.
At any part of this matchup, Gory can generate offense and cause damage.
And there, to your point, Jim, that's where the Iceman has to try to keep Gory on the mat.
There he's biting him again. You guys call this guy an aerial assassin. I call him a complete criminal. Since when was biting even allowed in wrestling?
Maybe he missed lunch. You don't know that.
For just 10 cents a day, you can feed this monster.
The hell are you running, a telephone?
Getting to the Christmas fair. Now, Rev.
Lateral press here. Johnson kicks out. And gentlemen, what I believe we're going to have to see here is how will the Iceman, who is always calm, collected, and calculating, he rarely ever makes a mistake, how will the Iceman deal with not only the ability but the unorthodox nature of the New Age Plague?
Well, that's where it's at. He's got to keep his cool. If he does not keep his cool, no pun intended, the Iceman...
Look out! Springboard dropkick, and that's what I'm talking about. You are never safe around Gory.
You never know when this guy's going to take to the air. He's got the... Oh, wait a minute.
Tony just loaded too quick.
Oh, look out! Gory's looking to fly!
That's what we're talking about right there. That's called being one step ahead of your opponent. You wouldn't expect anything different from the guy in the main event. Tony Johnson has been a complete new person since joining the main event, and that person loved it.
Oh, there's definitely a mean streak in Tony Johnson that has escalated. He's always been a sick and mean individual, but since joining the main event, yes, he has gotten much, much meaner.
I think we can say that the Iceman really found himself in the main event. The potential was always there, but over the past 6 months or so, we've seen Johnson really grow into and realize that potential. He is showing just how good he can be.
Duke and Ganon have definitely brought out the best in the Iceman.
I mean, can you guys expect anything different? I mean, the main event is at the top of their A game, not only here in Ryse, but anywhere they go. I mean, they leave a legacy. Tony Johnson is just sugar on top of that. Look at that snap suplex.
I will not deny the fact that the main event are world-class athletes. That is definite.
Hooks the leg here, shoulders down, but Gory immediately gets his shoulders off the canvas, and that right there is why Gory is one of the best on the independent scene today, because he will not allow any fluke situation to cost him a victory on a stage such as this. Gory is top tier, top caliber each and every time. There are absolutely no exceptions with someone the caliber of Gory.
I agree with you 100%, Jim, and let's face it, if this is the way we are kicking off the second anniversary of Ryse, we got nowhere to go but to the moon from here. It's going to be great action tonight.
Gory shoots him off. Handspring.
Oh, beautiful.
Poetry in motion was Tony Johnson right there. Follows up, shoulders down.
That was executed textbook.
5 minutes gone, 5 minutes.
It seems like right as soon as you get behind one guy, the other guy counters with something. It's like they're both even matched. I mean, like you stated, it's been 5 years since Tony Johnson and Gory have been in the ring, and even since then, Tony has been a new person. But it seems like it's almost like they know each other like they've never missed a step. I mean, it's amazing.
And what that tells you right there, Rev, is that Tony Johnson is hanging step for step with Gory. And let's make no mistake about it, Gory's resume is as good as anyone's.
Absolutely.
Wait, shoulders down here. To follow up on that point, Gory, of course, remix heavyweight champion, a former International Wrestling Cartel Super Indie champion, multiple-time tag team champion throughout his career. For Tony Johnson to hang step for step with Gory shows you how much Tony Johnson has grown in those past 5 years.
Beautiful!
No two ways about that. Let's face it, there's a lot of tape out there on Gory, and I'm sure Tony Johnson did his homework for this match.
That spinning backbreaker, extra torque for extra impact. And notice that the offensive assault of the Iceman is having its effect because it is taking longer and longer for Gory to extricate himself from those pinfall predicaments.
I mean, Paul can agree with me on this. I mean, when you start to target people's rib cage and target their back, it makes it that much harder to breathe. The deeper breath you, whoa, wait.
And here is the unorthodox nature of Gory.
Come on, man, there's a sheets down the street. Somebody get this guy a sandwich.
Tremendous vertical leap from the Iceman.
And Rev, yes, I will agree with that point. The more you hammer on the rib cage, let's not forget, the more you hammer on the back, the lungs are behind and in front of both of those areas. So with each one of those blows, the lungs try to expand and the pain just becomes too much.
Let's not forget the kidneys are also susceptible to damage in that situation. The lumbar region of the back right now, and it's no accident. It's not a coincidence that Johnson is targeting these spots. Tony Johnson knows what he's doing each and every step of the way. But Gory coming back here. Beautiful neck breaker off the ropes. And the momentum here could really turn the tide because Gory lives on adrenaline and aggression. He charges through with a clothesline.
And Gory feeds on that energy of the that crowd fully behind him every given second of it. They want Gory to stay in this thing, and by all means, Gory's doing it.
Beautiful drop kick.
No.
Full impact.
Woo! And
Wait a minute.
Londyn Ali just blew past us. She shot out here like a cannon. Clearly, Londyn Ali, a sense of urgency to distract Gory.
Don't take your eye off the ball, Gory.
All she's trying to do is make sure our friend was okay.
Gory goes for that QAS. Gory counters into the code breaker. And there's a QAS, sticks it perfectly. And come on, Londyn Ali saving the matchup for Johnson.
I believe that would have been it.
Without a doubt, that would have been it. But the Liddy Lioness has got the referee's attention. And once again, Gory's taking his eye off the ball.
No. That's a lady, damn it.
Well, she interjected herself first, bro.
She is an athlete, and she's going to get what's coming to her. Wait a minute, schoolboy. He's got the trunks. Are you kidding me?
In a time of 8 minutes, 34 seconds, your winner is the Iceman, Tony Johnson.
Watch out, here comes Gory, give him chase.
The main event steals one, but Gory is incensed.
Get on your feet and welcome Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham.
Introducing first, coming to us from Yale University, weighing 235 pounds, he is the new beginning, Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham.
Try turning the mic on, moron.
You know, I'm not a religious man, but God must have answered our prayers and short-circuited Dr. Dan's sound system.
Thank you.
You think you're funny, it's my
Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I'm here to teach you today. All about distractions. See, I would take my eye off the ball and not follow rule number 1. But I know to stay focused. That's why there's no hoverboard today, and there are no pamphlets for each and every one of you. And I know you cannot read anyway. So tonight, sir, I would usually let that bother me. Tonight, I take on a mountain of a challenge. So, Mr. Fresh to Death, please come out here so I can change your life with dedication, confidence, and respect.
Yeah. 84. Call the coroner. Get your corners up. He smoked the grace now and I'm calling up.
And his opponent from the concrete jungle of New York City, weighing 255 pounds, he is Mr. Fresh to Death, Pretty Boy Smooth.
A pure athlete, PB Smooth, making his Ryse debut. And this could be a young man that puts Ryse Wrestling on notice in 2019. Nearly 7 feet tall, unlimited potential for PB Smooth.
This man is a monster among men. If I can steal a catchphrase, this is going to be one huge challenge for Mr. Daniel Rockingham.
All I know is that it doesn't matter how tall you are, everyone needs positivity in this world, needs life-changing. And looking at this guy's hair, I think he needs life-changing as well. I don't think he uses the same barber as the Rev.
Come on, Rev, I thought you were a much smarter man than this. You're going to fall for this snake oil that this man dishes out?
Snake, I mean, I think we quite see eye to eye a little bit. I mean, we both stand for positivity, making a change for heathens like you guys.
You're much of a con artist as he is, you know that? Dr. Dan conned it.
Life, and I love it.
Of course, Dr. Dan, the last time we saw him here, he was involved with his running buddy, Edric Direction. And the reason that Dr. Dan has made his way back to Ryse Wrestling is simply because of his ability inside the squared circle. And he will never pass up an opportunity to plug his self-help system. This guy's a bigger con artist than Joel Osteen.
Oh, for heaven's sake, here you guys go again.
I think I got to agree with Jim on that one. But look at this man.
And PB Smooth is not interested in a self-help system. Dr. Dan may need some medical help after he gets done with this 7-foot-tall athlete. PB Smooth still in the early stages of his career, but has already found success. He is a former Absolute Intense Wrestling heavyweight champion out of Ohio, and you can see part of that reason right now. Oh, raw power, raw potential.
And he threw that man around like he weighed nothing.
I love how you guys are so coaching this on and him not spreading positivity. This is what's wrong with today's wrestling society.
Oh, I'm positive, Rev. I'm positive PB Smooth can throw him around like a rag doll for about 20 minutes.
Hardy, hard.
And look at how PB Smooth can move inside those ring ropes.
Oh, this guy's 7 foot tall, but he moves like a much smaller man.
I think the thing when looking at it, just both of them enjoying, both men received training from the same guy, and that's NXT stars Johnny Gargano and then Candice LeRae. But the thing is, they always say the apple doesn't fall from the tree. You guys are trying to count this man out. I'm just quite saying, I think my man's going to put a punch of positivity right on the PB Smooth. That's what I think.
Yeah, the thing that you and Dr. Dan have in common is you sell a salvation can be yours, and it will only cost you.
It's really Dr. Daniel. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, wait a minute. PB Smooth went after that tie. Dr. Dan slips out of it. Oh, man, he is wrenching on that arm. And you can see that shoulder being contorted at an awkward angle. That's a good way to tear your deltoid.
It was quite smart of DNC Rockingham to use the ring for his advantage. I mean, with a giant like this, you got to use any momentum necessary.
And Dr. Dan saw PB Smooth favoring that shoulder and came off the top. A rare time you're going to see Dr. Dan come off the top, but he's clearly targeting this shoulder, which shows you the mental acumen, the ring IQ of Dr. Dan.
Oh, he's definitely a smart man. I'm not going to deny that. And I mean, he's got the big man off his feet already in this match, and he's working that arm with a lot of proficiency right now.
And this is the maniacal side of Dr. Dan. We've seen him use those pamphlets to inflict nasty paper cuts to his opponents. Slicing between the fingers with those pamphlets. And again, PB Smooth, he may be seriously hurt with that shoulder because he can't even extend his arm here. And again, Dr. Dan being as calculating and as cold as he can be, latching onto that arm like a pit bull.
Read the pamphlet, PB. Read it and weep. Oh!
That could tear a rotator cuff in an instant.
I think the thing is, Rockingham is the guy. Wait a second.
Auto press here. Dr. Dan didn't get that weight evenly distributed.
That's because his weight isn't evenly distributed.
That's true, but I was trying to be polite.
I mean, come on, most of these guys are in shape. I mean, look at PB Smooth, he's in shape. Look at Rockingham, hair is a shape.
I mean, isn't there a particular company that says don't be a bully, be a star?
I'm just pointing things out, Rev. There's nothing bullying about that.
Rev, the only company we're worried about right now is Ryse, because PB Smooth is making his debut on the biggest stage in Ryse history, and Dr. Dan could play spoiler here.
He has really got that locked in now.
And
a lot of strain on that shoulder joint.
And a version of his trainer's Gargano escape. And for those that are unaware, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae, wait, shoulders down here. Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae were the head trainers of the Absolute Intense Wrestling School, hence why Dr. Dan and PB Smooth
5 minutes gone, 5 minutes.
sat under the learning tree of Dr. Dan. They attended that Absolute Intense Wrestling Training School, so that is where the Johnny Gargano influence comes in here with Dr. Dan and PB Smooth, although they've certainly taken two very different paths in their career since they finished their training.
I just want to mention one thing. I mean, kudos to Rockingham for trying to go blow to blow, but you can't go blow to blow with a giant. I mean, look, he's still on his feet.
It's going to take a lot to get this man off his feet, that's for sure.
Dr. Dan got caught.
Oh my God.
Big Samoan drop.
And despite the pain in the shoulder, PB Smooth showing that he can overcome some adversity here. As I said, biggest stage in Ryse history, PB Smooth getting a chance to debut, and you only get to make one first impression.
Big shoulder tackle. Another one. Here comes PB Smooth. He's firing up right now.
Smooth charges in, makes contact.
I don't think Rockingham knows where he's at right now.
I mean, would you? It's like being hit by a Big Mac truck.
He's like 2 Mack trucks, Rev.
I'd probably say 3, but who's counting?
Look how quick, how fluid PB Smooth went up over those top ropes.
Like I said, he's a 7-foot tall man who moves like a much smaller man, almost a cruiserweight.
I mean, Paul, explain how dangerous that is. When you got a guy, you try to scout, you think a big guy like this is all power, but he has the agility like a cruiserweight. How difficult is that to kind of scout for?
Oh, it's very tough to do. I mean, you've got to basically train for both styles.
And man, full Nelson face plant, blunt force trauma, forget about it.
In a time of 6 minutes, 51 seconds, your winner, Mr. Fresh to Death, Pretty Boy Smooth.
He had to overcome adversity. He fought through the pain, and PB Smooth. There's sportsmanship for you, Rev. PB Smooth may have big things in store for Ryse in 2019.
Very impressive debut by this young man.
I mean, I can't take anything away from him. He definitely earned it. He's a powerhouse. I hate to admit it, but I want to see more of BB Smooth, man. The guy has power and strength.
This guy can definitely be in the championship mix here at Ryse.
How you doing tonight? 2 years of Ryse. It's a special night for everybody here, but it's a special night for me, and I'm not going to take up too much of your time. But the reason I'm here tonight to be the special guest ring announcer for this huge matchup is because Super Hentai and Brandon K perhaps could be the reason that I am in this business and the reason that I am still in this business today. You see, it was about 20 years ago, January of 1999, when 9-year-old Nick Lendl was just a wrestling fan watching Monday Night Raw, Nitro, and I didn't know anything about independent wrestling. I'd only seen what I had watched on TV, what I read in the magazines, but it was one day after school that I got a phone call that actually changed my life forever, and it was from my best friend Brian, and he called me and told me that at his sister's work, this restaurant in Pittsburgh, the North Park Lounge Clubhouse, they were going to have a wrestling show. They were going to move the bar area, get rid of the stools, and get a wrestling ring right in the middle there. And of course I had to be there because, you know, I had watched all these wrestling matches and I had been to a couple WWE events, and of course that's what I expected. So when I got there, I saw the traditional indie setting. You know, you have the couple rows of chairs, the short entranceway, and I didn't know what to expect. And then I saw a couple of the wrestlers come out, and there was this tan, long-haired blonde guy that all the women were screaming for the entire show. And it was an intermission that young man came out and brought me and my friends into the ring. And for an 8-year-old kid that had watched wrestling for years, that was the biggest thing that could happen to me. I was inside of a wrestling ring. I stood on top of the turnbuckles here. I ran the ropes. I got my picture taken. And then I left that show and never knew what happened to that company, that wrestler. I just went on my merry way. But I will tell you this. For the next 15 years, until I stepped foot into a wrestling ring again, that was the greatest moment of my life. I stood in a wrestling ring, I got the pictures taken, and whether I was 8 years old, 20 years old, I showed everybody those pictures. And until I stood in a wrestling ring again, the picture that was on my nightstand, don't tell my wife this, the picture that was on my nightstand was me and that long-haired blonde wrestler from 1999. So fast forward all these years later, I'm in the business, I'm a ring announcer, working for a few different companies. And I see this Throwback Thursday post on Facebook. And it was that long-haired blonde guy dressed in a security outfit working as an extra for Monday Night Raw. And I said, oh my God, that's the guy. That's the guy from the show. That's the guy that took the pictures with me. That's the guy that brought me in the ring. And I still didn't put two and two together. But then I saw over and over all these people sharing this post on this same guy's Facebook page. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. That guy was Brandon K. And I never met Brandon K until a benefit show a few years ago. And this was before I had connected the dots to everything. So when I got into this business, there's some old school thoughts and some veterans in the back that were whispering a couple of my shows a couple months in, and they didn't think that there was any place in the locker room for a young punk kid with all these wrestlers that have been wrestling for years. So for the first couple months, I didn't change in the locker room. I stood outside until there was a group of veterans that pulled me aside and told me that I belonged in that dressing room. And I've never had a problem ever since, and one of those guys in that group was Super Hentai. So I'm proud to say I'm humbled. This is such a special, surreal moment for me, because 20 years later, almost to the day, I'm going to ring announce Brandon K. And I'm so excited for this. It's come full circle. I know you guys don't want to hear me talk anymore. You didn't come to hear me talk. So let's get this match going. It's 2 decades in the making. Are you ready for this match? The following contest is scheduled for one fall. First, making his way to the ring, trained in Hayabusa, Japan. Weighing in at 190 pounds, masked aggression, Super Hentai.
A Pittsburgh legend, an independent wrestling icon, making his Ryse debut, Super Hentai. Once again, Jill, I'm out of here on behalf of IndyWrestling.us and the Indie Wrestling Network, being joined by Paul Atlas. And this time I am so happy to see him healthy and hear the recovering Firebird, Sean Phoenix. Thank you. Sean, Super Hentai is the man that influenced you to become a professional wrestler, and I know it's a moment for you to be on hand to call this dream matchup.
Absolutely. When I was asked if I wanted to do commentary for this match, I said absolutely. We've got the man that influenced me to become a pro wrestler, taking on the man that allowed me to become a pro wrestler, my trainer.
And his opponent,
Such a special event that we're getting to witness this match. What, 17 years in the making, this rematch? Unbelievable.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is a dream match. It is a rematch from the 1999 Pittsburgh Classic. Brandon K and Super Hentai share the squared circle at the second Ryse anniversary show. And we are seeing a truly special moment in Pittsburgh wrestling history. Of course, Brandon K announced last month that 2019 will be his final year in professional wrestling after nearly 2 decades. As part of that announcement, he wanted to have as many stellar matches as possible, and he wanted the best competition as possible. And what a way to start off this retirement tour with Super Hentai, one of the most accomplished athletes ever to step foot in a Pittsburgh ring.
Let me tell you one thing. I am very proud of this man, Brandon K, the owner of Ryse Wrestling. He came to me, a 19-year-old kid, wanting to live a dream, and here we are all these years later, and he is owning his own company, and he is wrestling people on his own terms, and he's going to go out on his own terms. This young man has done a lot in his business, and I am very proud of him.
And you want to talk about technique, you can see ability personified inside the ring right now as Hentai grabs wrist control. Brandon very wisely and very quickly extricates himself, unique escape into a pinfall predicament. And Brandon again trying to maintain wrist control, but look how smooth Hentai is inside the squared circle, shoulders down. And we expected this to be an evenly matched contest, and certainly that's what we're seeing in the opening moments here. But gentlemen, I'm in the unique position to talk to the man that trained Brandon K and an athlete that Brandon K has trained. So gentlemen, I'm going to ask for both of your opinion at the same time. How do you think Brandon K is going to approach this rematch nearly 2 decades in the making?
Well, first of all, let me tell you what, I mean, when you talk about 2 decades in the making, neither one of these men are the same as they were 2 decades ago, obviously. This business takes a toll on your body. But Brandon K has always been a student of the game. And I am sure he's thought about that. And he is going to try to be as technically sound as he can. He's going to make the moves as crisp as he can. Unfortunately, right now, well, both men ducking and diving on each other.
A human chess match right now. Sean, I'm going to ask you, as a student of Brandon K, what is the most important lesson that Brandon taught you when you were learning the ropes?
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about all that Brandon has taught me, and you know, all the Super Hentai has taught me too. It's just, this is, you know, to touch on what Paul said, these guys, they've been doing it for a while. They're not the same men that they were all those many moons ago. That being said, these guys get better with age. You know, indie wrestling, you know, it can take a toll on you. There's a lot of guys that don't have the longevity that these guys have, and these guys have only gotten better with age.
Beautiful Hurricane Rana.
And you know, to Sean Phoenix's point, that is very true. With all the high-risk maneuvers in the business today, careers.
And here's one right now.
Careers are very short, much shorter than they used to be. I myself was 25 years as an in-ring competitor. It was because of my style. And Brandon's been able to do the same thing. He's had a little more high-risk style, but he's also very smart.
We could be seeing some of that aerial offense right now. Crossbody takes Hentai to the canvas.
You know, and I'm not trying to sell Super Hentai short, because this man has traveled the world. Don't get me wrong. I've been on plenty of main events with Super Hentai. We've shared many locker rooms, and this guy, he knows all there is to know about this business as well.
Look at that, both men had the same idea.
Of course, Super Hentai. Oh, wait a minute now. The Grindhouse is just, they ran past us. Are you kidding me? Shirley Doe, the Beastman, and Megan Meyers, and damn it, no, come on. We had a dream match here, and the Grindhouse is trying to turn this into a nightmare.
Are you kidding me?
And wait a minute, what is going on? Christy K is at ringside, and she looks very distraught right now. I don't know what's going on, but
what is Shirley Doe's out here? We know he's the ringleader of this menagerie.
These clowns have ruined so many main events here at Ryse. It's becoming a little ridiculous.
You know, if I was cleared right now, you bet I would be down.
Well, no, you got to stay. I understand. You got to stay here. You know, you're not. You were. Sean, you're hurt.
That's my trainer, and that's my inspiration.
I understand, but I'm asking you to stay here.
What is?
Hentai's being mugged.
I'm sorry, but I got to agree with Sean.
Well, you got to stay here too. You got 2 artificial knees, Sean. You just got out of the hospital less than a month ago.
Stop!
But that's
This is the most important match of the night, and Grindhouse has the nerve to come in and disrupt it?
Christy better be careful.
Well, guess what? Now it's a DQ, and my husband's gonna kick your ass!
Christy K has laid down the law. This is now a tag team match.
Ring the bell!
The Grindhouse against Brandon K and Super Hentai, competitors about 30 seconds ago, partners now.
Well, we have an impromptu tag match because Christy said so, and I'm not going to argue with that woman. But still, this puts Super Hentai and Brandon K in real jeopardy here because the Grindhouse is psychotic.
Not only that, but I'm just at a loss for words. This was legitimately a dream match that we were witnessing, and the Grindhouse interrupts it, and Super Hentai and Brandon K, they were not prepared for this. You know, they probably spent the last couple weeks preparing to go one-on-one with each other, and now they're allies, and they're definitely not going to be on the same page.
Beastman just hit the post, and I believe the damn ring shook.
I'll tell you what, I know Brandon K likes his competitors to stay competitive and stay in the ring. Marcus Mann usually follows those edicts, but I'll tell you what, something needs to be done about Grindhouse. This is about the 3rd or 4th time that these people have ruined the main event, have ruined a match of epic proportions. I don't know what their game plan is, but somebody needs to stop these idiots.
Grindhouse enjoys ruining the dreams of wrestling fans, and that's exactly what they did right here. Of course, we had Nick Wendell from Ring of Honor Wrestling coming here to be a special ring announcer because of the influence that Brandon K had on him. This whole damn thing is ruined thanks to Shirley Doe.
You want to know something very scary? I had a small taste of professional wrestling training with Shirley Doe. And seeing the type of men that Brandon K, Super Hentai are, I wonder where I would be right now if I finished that training with Shirley Doe.
You probably wouldn't be sitting next to us, that's for sure.
I'll tell you what, you may have had some training with him, but I've been in the ring with him. The guy is sick. He's mental. He loves to inflict pain and death if need be upon people. This guy's psychotic. He's going to kill somebody someday.
And right now, Hentai just got smashed by the Beastman.
Now, Beastman, he's a tank, but that guy can move. And when he hits you in the face with that elbow, there's no telling what's going to happen next. You don't know where you're at. You're lucky if you have all your teeth. And now there's a numbers game on Super Hentai. He is drastically outmatched here. What, Beastman's got probably, 150 pounds on him?
Well, Hentai is a very strong man, but yes, Beastman is definitely about twice the size of Super Hentai.
And look at Super Hentai, known for that trademark right hand. But Doe and Hentai go back nearly 2 decades. And I still can't believe that Super Hentai's Ryse debut has been ruined by the Grindhouse. And Hentai got squashed. You know, Super Hentai is a legitimate indie wrestling icon. He's been in the ring with AJ Styles, Jerry Lynn, Colt Cabana, Chris Sabin, a who's who of wrestling. Super Hentai, internationally experienced, wrestled in Tokyo, Japan over the course of his nearly 2 decades in the ring. He brought all of that here to Ryse, and the Grindhouse played spoils to that.
Well, let's face it, you know what, Shirley Doe, not to put him over, but he's experienced a lot of the same things that Hentai does, but this guy just doesn't care. He wants everything to be about the Grindhouse and Ryse, and I just think it's disgusting that they would ruin a match of that caliber, and hopefully Brandon and Hentai can get it together and teach these punks a lesson.
Super Hentai definitely needs to make a tag here. Here he goes.
Hentai looks in a bad way. He's been favoring his knee since the opening moments of this contest. And if he wasn't hurt before, he sure as hell will be now.
It's a lot of beef going into your midsection. I mean, like I said, Super Hentai's a strong man. He's got a very strong, tight midsection. What are we going to do here now? Come on, ref, get that out of his hand.
Well, not only that, keep in mind, Super Hentai also just went 5 to 10 minutes with Brandon K. I'm sure he's exhausted. And then you add the fact that he got beat up by a numbers game. He definitely at a disadvantage. He desperately needs to make a tag.
Hentai's in a bad way right now. And you know as well as I do, both Hentai and Brandon K want revenge on the Grindhouse.
There he is. He turned the tables now. He's got to get over there and tag Brandon right now.
And the Beastman was a 350-pound missile going headfirst into that chair.
He desperately needs to make a tag. Oh, here comes the tag.
Watch out from behind.
And Doe takes Brandon K off the apron, preventing the tag.
And a shot to Hentai for good measure.
Now wait a minute, Meyers getting involved here.
There's no directing traffic out here with these 2 maniacal idiots. They do everything at his beck and call. And this young lady, I don't know what she thinks she's doing here.
Hentai is in the wrong part of town right now, and the conclusion of this impromptu tag matchup could be imminent, because right now, this is exactly what the Grindhouse wants to do. They want to meticulously pick apart these 2 Pittsburgh legends.
Nice. Come on, Hentai.
This could be Hentai's one and only chance. Can he make the tag?
Reversing that backdrop into a double DDT. He needs to get over to Brandon right now and make that tag. And believe me, if he does, the roof is going to come off his plane.
Here we go.
And the complexion of this matchup has changed rather quickly, because first class Brandon K is taking out all of his frustrations.
You know, get it.
Normally I wouldn't condone it, but go ahead, K.
Miscue from Grindhouse. How long can Brandon sustain this rally? And it's gut check time here. Brandon is daring, absolutely, Paul. He is daring Doe. Magic bullet misses. Super kick does not.
Did he get all of it, though?
It is chaos here at Ryse's second anniversary show.
Why is he not covering? Top.
Hey, he ruined the match. Brandon wants to inflict as much punishment as he can in this case. But watch out, here comes the Beastman.
Beastman just snaps Brandon by the throat.
You know, Beastman this Neanderthal, I don't even know if he knows how to comprehend pain. This guy hit
Wait a minute, what's Hentai doing?
Look at Hentai. Unbelievable. Up and over. Hooks the leg.
Meg Meyers. This is not fair.
The numbers game could be just too much. The Grindhouse could be just too much to handle, but a shotgun drop kick from Hentai. The fight of Hentai and Brandon K is unbelievable. True heart and tenacity.
But you notice every time Brandon and Hentai think they got something going, Grindhouse pulls something out of the wagon wheel and gets them.
Oh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous.
No way.
Oh, my.
Hentai is one of the strongest pound for pound, but I don't know.
He's going to do
This is an incredible feat of strength.
I don't know.
He hurt his back.
I don't know how the hell Hentai did it. But what a feat of strength, but can he follow up? Wait, Doe's back on his feet, so's Brandon. And this is Doe's forte. He's going for that silly head DDT. Brandon counters.
Here it is, K-Driver.
Plants Doe down.
Look out.
Doe gets squashed.
Double super kick. And again.
And this young lady is finally going to get what she
Here
deserves.
we go. Big flapjack.
1, 2, 3.
And they got it.
Here are your winners, the team of Super Hentai and Brandon K.
A measure of revenge for Brandon K.
It may not have been the dream match we were looking for, but these two men still came out on top tonight.
What a war and what a team. Super Hentai impromptu matchup makes a successful debut at Ryse. Certainly thank you to Nick Wendell for announcing this matchup.
Real quick, Hentai! I don't know about you, I have this itch I've been needing to scratch. That little taste in the beginning of this crap when these idiots came here. I didn't scratch it. Did you scratch it? Did you make it happen? Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. So let's do it right in 1 month. Because I know you hurt your knee in this match. 1 month. Can you be here? January 5th. Brandon K versus Hentai. For the very last time. All right.
And there's the big announcement from owner Brandon K. We're going to see that match 1 month from now, January the 5th, 2019. Brandon K and Super Hentai, one-on-one, the way it was meant to be.
I know where I'm going to be.
2019 for Ryse will start off with a dream match. Super Hentai and Brandon K will happen January 5th.
better change of direction.
Approaching the ring from TV land by way of Cleveland, Ohio, weighing 250 pounds, he is the greatest director in all professional wrestling. He is Derek Direction.
He told me to put him over because you jabronis can't do it, so I'm going to put him over. This is the one and only playmaker, the man that creates better films and quick guarantees. This is Derek Direction. Now, what do you guys know about that? Have you ever seen this guy's film? Absolutely amazing. He's going to destroy Lee Moriarty.
First off, Rev, you better watch it. You're calling a jabroni. I might be 53 years old, but I think I can still take you.
Well, I think that might be on the director's cut, but I understand that Jim's not quite saying too much because he doesn't want to get involved in their direction film either.
With the chit chat, skip all the riff rap. It's just a fact that this is a direct
We saw in our video presentation, this match started October 2017 and has still been going on. The blood between these two men is definitely bad.
Is it Taylor Swift bad?
Beyond that.
And his opponent from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing 80 kilos, he is Tiga style Lee Moriarty.
The Black Dragon, the apex of combat, the first ever Ryse Grand Champion, Lee Moriarty, looks to settle a 14-month personal rivalry. Tonight it will be settled. Can the Black Dragon exercise the demon of Derek Direction?
Now you talk about exercising demons, I think you need to speak to the Reverend Hunt because the only demon I see in the ring is the guy that came out in a ski mask in the first place. Now don't get me wrong, one of the greatest wrestlers, but not the greatest wrestler within this area. But this is a man over here, Derek Direction, that directs exactly what he needs in this film at the same time while putting a hurting on people. Have you ever seen anyone do anything like that? Come on.
Well, there is no doubt the blood spilled runs long. This match is, these two men have had match after match, and they have also, this is spilled over in the state line, crossing state lines into Ohio, Western Pennsylvania. These two guys have fought in alleys, in backyards. They've jumped each other everywhere there is to do, and here we go.
14 months in the making. Ryse Wrestling second anniversary show.
These men are gifted wrestlers, but I don't think we're going to see very many wrestling moves. As you can see already, the Fez press by Lee Moriarty might be the first and only one we see tonight.
Coming to you from IndyWrestling.us on the Indie Wrestling Network, Direction versus Moriarty will be settled. And as you said, Paul, an aggressive start, shoulders down immediately, but Direction escapes.
I mean, can you guys feel the tension? We're talking about a feud. This started last year, October 17th of last year, dating all the way back to that Grand Championship tournament, which Lee won, but by the means, I think Lee has a little bit of anger streak in him. I mean, this is a buildup of anger. I think it's just due a little bit, but
Derek Direction has never been able to get over that tournament loss to Lee Moriarty, and he has done everything he can. But yes, Lee is getting more and more aggressive, because let's face it, he's pretty tired of dealing with this jerk.
Lee Moriarty cannot allow himself to get over aggressive because Derek Direction will make you pay, but the Black Dragon getting ready to fly. Direction hits the concrete and it's payback time. Direction could be regretting everything that he put Moriarty through. As you said, Paul, this rivalry spilled over into other states, into other promotions, but it will be settled where it started, here at the Stronghold.
Exactly, and like I stated, it wasn't just in the wrestling ring. These two guys have met in back alleys, backyards, other locker rooms. It just hasn't mattered. And it all comes down to, like I said,
Look out! I believe Direction. He just suplexed Moriarty on the concrete floor.
Good God.
And I'll tell you what, unlike other places, the floor here at the Stronghold is cement and there are no pads out there.
The Tiga-style athlete may not be able to answer the 10 count here.
I think this goes much more beyond just shaking hands in your good old-fashioned chain-like style wrestling that Derek Direction is used to when he first started training with Pete Dunne. But this is blood. You feel the tension in the air.
No, this is a fight. Make no mistake about it. This is not a wrestling contest. This is a fight. This is about Ryse Wrestling. It's about Lee Moriarty and Derek Direction. And this will finally be settled because it has to be settled.
This is not going to be a wrestling match. These two guys are not here to exchange wrist locks, to exchange headlocks. They're here to throw down and have a good old-fashioned Donnybrook. Katie bar the door, as JR would say.
Derek Direction going straight for the choke.
Hooks the legs. Moriarty escapes.
Notice that fighting spirit that's in Lee. He's not even giving it a split second. He's trying to get back on his feet as soon as he can.
Derek Direction has been obsessed with Lee Moriarty. Derek Direction has been obsessed with making his name off of Lee Moriarty.
I mean, can you blame him? You're looking at their top dog. You're looking at our very first Ryse Grand Champion, our first Ryse Grand Champion, which was Lee Moriarty. When you try to prove yourself, you try to prove it against one of the biggest dogs in the industry. Lee Moriarty is one of the biggest guys within this company. I mean, it's a great person to make a name off.
Well, not only this company, everywhere this man has gone. He's traveled to Mexico. He's traveled all around the United States. And I've said it time in and time out. Lee Moriarty is money. So if you want to make something out of it, you want to beat the guy that's money and take that man's place. And that's what Derek Direction is set out to do here.
Paul, you talk about money. I couldn't help but realize that Direction came out in that black and gold Louis Vuitton ring gear, which I've never seen before, but I love it. That Louis V is one of the most expensive name brands around in the history of fashion.
Direction drops the elbow right to the heart, and that was no coincidence. That was done with malice and intent.
Well, I will testify to that. I know I had to buy my daughter one of those Louis V purses, and it set me back a good $1,000.
Take 3. Oh!
Direction telegraphed himself and paid for it there. And look at Moriarty.
Oh!
Throws the kick, but Direction answers back with a right hand right to the jaw. And Moriarty trying to clear the cobwebs.
Let's point out something here that not too many people might be thinking of, okay? Derek Direction has become so obsessed with Lee Moriarty. He's encompassed every aspect of Derek Direction's life. Derek Direction may not come out on top of this match for that very reason. His mind is clouded with one thing and one thing only, and that's Lee Moriarty. But Lee, he is smart enough. He's still been traveling around. He's still been doing what he needs to do. I've not seen that same one single focus out of Lee Moriarty. That could be the thing that tips the scales in his favor.
Think about this here, gentlemen. This is not only the biggest platform in Ryse history. 24 months in the making, 2 years of Ryse Wrestling leads to tonight. We're on the Indie Wrestling Network. We're distributed through Smart Mark Video. The argument could be made that more eyes will be seen on this Ryse event than any Ryse event in history. And how embarrassing would it be for either Moriarty or Direction
5 minutes gone, 5
to
minutes.
come up short at the end of this rivalry?
And that's not going to get the job done. This is what I'm talking about. Derek Direction thinks he's going to pull off this cocky little stand on his chest pin. That's not how you beat a man like Lee Moriarty.
And we know for sure that if Direction is victorious here, if he can embarrass and humiliate Lee Moriarty inside the Stronghold, we're never going to hear the end of it.
I mean, the thing is, it seems like Derek Direction is just focused a little bit more, but Lee's not giving up the fight by any means necessary. You got to think, talked to Lee numerous times to see how quickly he came. This guy studies. No matter what the company is, he studies it. He betters himself every single match. But to me, it seems like there's a little bit more sauce in Derek Direction's tank. I mean, this can go both ways, honestly.
Well, certainly, as we've said, we know this is evenly matched because these are two of the top young prospects on the independent scene. But Derek Direction may need a dentist. I believe his bottom teeth may be in the 4th row. A mule kick right to the face, and that is the Tiga style, the hybrid style that Lee Moriarty talks so much about. Adapting and improvising in any situation. And there's a kick right to the face.
Like I said before, Lee has traveled all over the country. Well, he's been in these areas. Hold on here.
Looks over, hooks the leg, beautiful transition. Finds 2.5.
Lee Moriarty didn't show up in these areas just to come in and wrestle a match against somebody. He went in and he studied. He went to their dojos. He went to their training facility. Lee Moriarty has taken lessons everywhere he's traveled.
Moriarty charges in, European uppercut.
Those are about the hardest in the business today.
You know what? I took a few of those myself. When I tell you, I'm even surprised that Derek Direction lasted that long because Lee brings it with fire.
Look out! And you can see the head snap back on impact right there. 2.5. And did you notice how Moriarty moved Direction away from the ropes, forcing Direction to use the energy to extricate himself right there? And right now, Derek Direction is quite literally on the ropes.
That's ring presence at its finest. Now these fans getting behind Lee Moriarty.
Oh my goodness! Jim, you talk about another tooth. I think that might have been another one. Lee still bringing it.
Listen to the thud, the impact. You can hear it.
I think at this point, Direction might be out on his feet here. Out on his
took a pause.
Wait a minute, Direction caught him and jars the spine of the Black Dragon.
All it takes is for a little redirection and realignment of that spine to go an opposite way from which you want it. And it can leave you with some problems. That's why a lot of wrestlers, we wake up unknown, bruises and everything like that.
A lot of people think that wrestling ring's just a big trampoline, but there is metal and wood underneath there with a thin layer of padding. By far a trampoline.
The reverberation on the spine can send shockwaves through your body. But even at this juncture, you can see that Derek Direction has sustained a lot of punishment despite generating some offense there. But we knew this is what it would be. We knew this would be a dogfight. We knew this would be a confrontation that both of these men may not be the same afterward.
And right now you can see the toll this match is taking on both men. The moves aren't quite as crisp. They're both a little wobbly on their feet.
And again, you can hear the smack. Flesh on flesh.
Notice that these guys are not pulling any punch whatsoever. Forearm after boot after fist. You got to think this is over a year of built-up energy all coming out right now. Each one of them leaving it on the line.
These men are going to leave it all in the ring by the time this is done. No two ways about that.
This is hatred right here. This is a personal, physical confrontation. And who will be the first to fall at the Ryse 2nd anniversary show?
Jimmy, big clothesline there.
And that's what the people in theater would call a final cut. I don't know if Lee's getting up from that one, but
I don't know if anybody's going to get up because we're at a 10 count here, a pivotal point in this contest. The first man to their feet will have a definitive advantage in the conclusion of this contest.
Jimmy, no disrespect for you. I know you're not an athlete, but let me tell you something. When you get in the ring with somebody that you have hated, that you have obsessed about, that you have fought about, and you can finally get a chance to get your hands on them, and you're not thinking about a contest, you're really not thinking about a win, you're just thinking about punishing that individual. It takes you to a new level. I've been there myself, and all you want to do is hurt the man. Winning doesn't matter, and I think that's what we got here at this point.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Moriarty up and over.
Oh!
Rolling kick right to the face. Hooks the leg.
Unbelievable!
I will give Derek Direction credit on that one. I don't think many people could have kicked out of that. So props to Derek Direction there.
You know, a lot of times, sorry to cut you off, Jim, but a lot of times, you know, naturally you kick out because you feel like you're right there, you need it. But I just think, honestly, he seemed like he was right there on Elm Street, not even knowing what's happening, just naturally kicked out because it's that little bit of will that's left that says, I'm not going out like this. Both competitors, phenomenal job tonight here at Ryse.
They may be running on instincts alone because this matchup is a physical exhaustion. And these are pivotal moments. One mistake could cost you everything, and this may cost Lee Moriarty. He got caught with his head down.
Where's he going for his patented leg drop? Oh!
Nobody home. No water in the pool, but can Moriarty follow up? Can he capitalize? Could this be the one mistake that turns the tide? Tornado DDT.
And that's what's dangerous about Moriarty. You give him a half a second to readjust to see where he's at. He's going to use any part of the ring for his advantage. With the size that he has, he can get with any guy at any given level. And this isn't just a wrestling match. I mean, this is, just you guys stated, this is a dog fight. And both guys are going back and forth with this.
This shows you the top tier caliber of these two athletes. One small slip and they can make you pay dearly.
Now let me ask both of you guys this question. I mean, this is more than likely going all the way to the limit. Both guys are barely kicking out, barely can stand. What do you feel it takes for both of you guys? What do you feel it takes for either one of them to get a W tonight?
I have a feeling it's going to be just that one mistake. One slip of the tongue, one slip of the wrist. You know, taking your eye off the ball for just 1 second. That's what's going to be the difference in this match.
Wait a minute, sunset flip. Moriarty countered. Back senton. And I believe that Moriarty had inadvertently driven all the air out of himself there. Moriarty is in some real pain right now.
I think it was amazing when we talked about it. You know, like I said before, Lee is the type that he'll look at a way to study tape no matter what's going on. And one thing that's dangerous, it seemed like Derek Direction was setting up for that signature move when he does that sunset flip into the turnbuckle. But Lee Moriarty kept ahead of him by even a couple seconds. That's all it takes, Paul. Just like you said before, just 3 seconds is all it takes.
Direction caught him. Look out, buckle bomb!
Oh, and Lee's head just snapped out.
The ricochet was nasty. Sunset flip bomb again. The neck snaps back. And a Meteora in the corner. Moriarty could be out cold. The Black Dragon may be unconscious.
Oh my God!
That was heart. That was guts, and that was determination. Lee Moriarty will not be denied on this stage.
What does it take?
Props to Derek Direction.
15 minutes gone, 15 minutes.
Props to Lee Moriarty for kicking out of a near impossible situation.
We are seeing a classic in the stronghold.
Wait a second, Derek took off that elbow pad. I feel like he's going for that rolling elbow.
Lee scratching and clawing, trying to get back to his feet.
You know what, guys? We got to give it to all of them because, you know, this is what Ryse Wrestling is all about. Giving it all. This is pride that's on the line.
Moriarty ducks. Into Fujiwara.
Wait a second.
Moriarty.
Wait a minute. You can see Lee.
Could this be it?
Moriarty with everything he's got, wrenching and twisting, trying to contort that arm.
Derek Direction barely crawling, but Lee seems to be backing him up. Derek trying to find the closest rope. Could he get there? And he gets there. He has to break the count. Wait a second. Lee rolls back out right to the square middle of the ring.
Directions on an island.
But after all this time, after all this punishment both men have taken, can Lee really cinch that in as tight as...
Wait, shoulders down, shoulders down.
Wait a second. Tap.
Wait a minute.
I saw Direction tap.
Wait a minute, Nick Davidson.
No, I saw Lee's shoulders down.
Wait a minute, Nick Davidson counted 3. That's Moriarty's music. All right, what's the decision?
I saw Lee's shoulders down. I don't know why they're playing his music. I saw Lee Moriarty's shoulders down.
It is time for 16 minutes, 5 seconds. It is a pinfall victory for the ranked #1 contender,
Derek Direction. Whoa. Hey.
I told you.
No. We're watching backstage. I saw the angle. Derek Direction tapped out before that pinfall.
Wait a minute, we need a clear winner here. Who won? I mean,
Director of Talent Relations.
There's only one way to settle this. We're going to restart this match right now. All right?
Marcus Mann has laid the edict down. There's some controversy over whether Derek tapped or whether Lee Moriarty was pinned, and he's demanding that this match be restarted.
oh, wait a minute, you can't do that.
That man's not a wrestler.
Marcus Mann is one of the administrative figures here that puts everything he has into this promotion, and he just got knocked out by Direction. Lee Moriarty back on the arm.
We're back.
We have officially restarted this matchup. And Moriarty may break. Oh! Derek Direction. Moriarty is going to break the arm of Derek Direction.
On that arm like a pit bull, and Direction's tapping.
This is insane. Derek won from the beginning.
Now the time 16 minutes, 25 seconds. Your winner via submission and now the ranked #1 contender for the Ryse Grand Championship, Tiga style, Lee Moriarty.
It was snap or tap, and Direction's arm may be broken. A physical, violent, controversial contest finds Lee Moriarty the winner of this matchup and the new #1 contender for the Ryse Grand Championship.
But Jimmy, is 4 weeks enough time for Lee Moriarty to recover from a match like this to be able to face whoever our grand champion is come January the 5th?
We're gonna find out, will 2019 be the year of the Black Dragon? Ladies and gentlemen, the second half of the Ryse second anniversary show kicks off. My name's Jim Alon, being joined by Paul Atlas. And I'm not sure what the hell to expect here, but Golden
Being
Chic
led
is
to the
back.
ring by Benjamin C. Steele. Here are Golden Chic International,
We have not seen
Mambo Italiano, Calvin Couture, and RPW Robert Parker Williams, Golden Chic International.
Well, before being cut off by Hank Hudson, I was trying to say we have not seen Golden Chic here at the Stronghold since July. It will be interesting to see what these gentlemen have to say, and I use that term.
Golden Chic was humiliated the last time they were in this building. You know that they want to scrub that and set themselves on the right course for 2019.
I believe the last time we saw BC Steel and the members of Golden Chic, they were wearing dresses.
My question to you guys, have you ever seen a more illustrious team? Look at all the bedazzle. This seems like some of Rep's finest quality attire right here.
Yeah, wrestling's not a fashion show.
Why can't it be? Well, I mean, I can tell by what you're wearing. Look how
As much as I'd love to hear that song all day. Guys, this is the second anniversary of Ryse, and I think I speak for all these people when I say that the best part about Ryse is in this ring right now. We have the distinguished gentleman, Robert Parker Williams. We have the fashionista, Calvin Couture. We have the greatest dancer alive, Mambo Italiano. And we have yours truly, the B to the C to the S to the T to the double ELE. You know, I think about a lot of Ryse's great moments. I mean, who will ever forget the 30-minute Iron Man match with Matt Conard and Tony Johnson? Was that something?
But more importantly than that, Calvin, I need to know, how did you look so good for our fashion show?
Isn't it obvious? Like, I think all these people know by looking at me. Yeah, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Well, looking from the people, I really can't tell men from women and young from old. But what I can tell is that a dentist could do really good in this town. Now, I also think about how intergender wrestling is the hot thing right now, and we see that right here in Ryse. We've got great talent. We've got, of course, Laura Lovelace here in Gold Chic International, my personal favorite, but we've got Londyn Ali, we've got Jinx, there's Honey Badger, the list goes on and on and on. So Mambo, I gotta ask you, what was it like when you joined Golden Chic International?
I think it's one of the best moments of Ryse when Mambo Italiano came there from the backstage, like the special guest of the Golden Chic International Fashion Show, and we beat System LA.
I don't think you've ever seen four better looking individuals. Now, we do have a lot of events here tonight. We've seen some great action. We've got a big heavyweight title match tonight. And we've got special guests, two of which are actually important in the young career of RPW and myself. Pittsburgh legend and hardcore icon Boomer Payne and ECW original Chris Hamrick. Now, maybe it's just me, but I think those two individuals would be a great fit for Golden Chic International.
No. What are you thinking? Use your mind.
Hold on. Oh my God, you're right. Wait a minute. Chris Hamrick and Boomer Payne, they don't have the fashion skills, they don't have the good looks, and they certainly don't have it.
One of the most innovative, one of the most underrated, and one of the most accomplished athletes to ever put on a pair of boots. 36 years of experience, high-flying Chris Hamrick is a hidden gem of the wrestling business. Chris Hamrick is one of the most accomplished athletes that I've ever seen. And I know that Chris Hamrick will not take kindly to the Golden Chic chicanery that BC is spewing right now.
I think typically I always have something bad to say about somebody, but for once I'm going to give credit where it is definitely
Whoa, you can turn that song off. Every time that song plays, the company goes out of business. Oh, please, go right ahead.
Y'all hear this guy out here running his mouth? Yeah. His mouth's so big he can whisper in his own ear. Hey, why don't you do us a favor? Why don't you do them a favor? Why don't you do the world a favor and shut the hell up? I'm sorry, can I say hell? Okay.
Sure you could say hell. BC, shut the hell up. I agree.
Okay. Gentlemen. I assume that you're not going to take the offer to join Golden Chic International. And to be honest, it would be really unfair to go 3-on-2. But what the hell?
Now, wait a minute.
Hey, ref, let's go. We got to have one back there.
Golden Chic just jumped Boomer Payne and Chris Hamrick.
Wait a second. That's not a ref right there. Another guy got in the ring.
And we may have a 6-man tag match up. And Golden Chic's plan may backfire immediately here.
now Golden Chic International, with the odds straight up, don't seem to want to be involved anymore.
Boomer Payne.
Well, obviously Mambo's not from southern Italy because Chris Hamrick can't understand a word he's saying.
And the crowd is wanting the Golden Chic into the ring. Chris Hamrick saying, listen, bring it. I don't speak any Italian, but I speak violence.
Boomer Payne was a veteran.
All right, this is now a six-man tag team match. Golden Chic International versus high-flying Chris Hamrick, the Mac Daddy of Violence, Boomer Payne, and their partner, the A-Game, Austin Jordan. Six-man tag team match.
Let me try that again. Boomer Payne is a veteran of the Ring Wars, specifically of the late 90s, and he spilled blood all around Pittsburgh. In fact, Paul Atlas, you were involved in some of those matchups. Boomer Payne has had a matchup here before at Ryse, but re-enlighten our audience here on the Indie Wrestling Network. Just how extreme can Boomer Payne be inside that squared circle?
I'll tell you what, I was involved in some of Boomer Payne's very first matches in the area, and when he first came to the Pittsburgh area, he was a very good catch-can wrestler, but something inside this man snapped. I don't know what happened or where it came from, but he ended up with a Cactus Jack style influence upon himself. He was willing to hurl his body. He was willing to give up his body at all costs to gain a win. He didn't care about blood. He didn't care about broken bones. And believe me, the two of us spilled a lot of blood against each other. This man is a hardcore icon in the Pittsburgh area.
Boomer Payne is a hardcore kamikaze. And Austin Jordan, the young protege of Boomer Payne, if you're running buddies with Boomer Payne and Chris Hamrick, that shows you gotta be a dangerous individual.
I was just about to say the same thing. I had the opportunity to go down with with the owner of Ryse, Brandon Kay, along with about 8 others, and just to be down there in the environment from where Boomer Payne and Chris Hamrick are from, you have to be some of the toughest son of a guns to even make it.
Without a doubt, there's a lot of beer drinking and a lot of bar fighting going on down south there where these guys are from.
Well, I tell you this, I barely made it out alive. Not quite my scene.
Wait a minute here, gentlemen. Chris Hamrick officially tags into this matchup. And as I said during our introductions, Chris Hamrick is a hidden gem of the wrestling business. Truly as good as they come, as good as anyone. 36 years experience from Chris Hamrick, a student of the legendary Ricky Morton. Chris Hamrick has been in literally every major wrestling promotion to exist in the United States. He has appeared on Monday Night Raw. He appeared in Smoky Mountain Wrestling in the early 90s.
Oh my God, I'm sorry about that, my eardrum popped.
He was on pay-per-view for ECW in the early 2000s, and right now, Chris Hamrick, as good as ever in 2018, is here in the Stronghold, and I say this in all sincerity, it is an honor for me to get to call a Chris Hamrick matchup. He is an underrated legend.
Do not let that sweet southern frivolity fool you one bit. Chris Hamrick is a bar fighter from way back when. And yeah, I know you probably made it out of there barely alive. That's because Jack is a little stronger than Ultra Wine, Rev.
And right now, Mambo Italiano is on the receiving end, of all of those 36 years of experience from Chris Hamrick.
Look at that text.
Poetry in motion. Beautiful. Chris Hamrick as smooth as silk inside the squared circle. And for Golden Chic, gentlemen, they wanted to make a statement here at Ryse's biggest stage. They are in there with Boomer Payne, Chris Hamrick, and of course the young Austin Jordan. But just between Boomer Payne and Chris Hamrick, they have over 5 decades of experience between the two of them.
And not just experience, but experience in sheer violence.
Wait a second,
this ought to be interesting.
Chris Hamrick is a wizard inside the ring ropes.
Unbelievable.
And now Jordan's got Parker all tied up.
Have you guys ever seen anything like this?
Like I told you, don't let that good old Southern boy mentality fool you. This guy is as violent as they come, and he's as technically sound as they come.
A trio of submission holds. And Golden Chic is in some noticeable pain right now. But as I was saying, this stage, this platform, if Golden Chic can defeat Chris Hamrick, they will make the statement that they hope to. However, if the true veteran is able to oust Golden Chic, egg on the face of BC Steel, and Mambo may be a little taller after this matchup is over because he is being
5 minutes gone,
and
5
twisted
minutes.
like a pretzel.
You know, it's one thing, and trust me, the rap knows all about this. It's one thing to talk the talk, but there comes a point you got to walk the walk. I think they might be just a little bit too deep under. Oh, I don't think he's having any kids any soon. But I think they might be just a tad bit too deep underwater with this one. I mean, Chris Hamrick, Boomer Payne, they're protege. Pardon me if I forgot his name, but I mean, these guys
That's
are.
Austin Jordan, a young man that has been the running buddy of Boomer Payne and Chris Hamrick, and there's no better education in professional wrestling for the young Jordan than to sit under the learning tree of Chris Hamrick and Boomer Payne.
I think Paul could probably attest to. I mean, they're coming from the deep parts of Carolina here, but just to be able to understand the amount of knowledge you can get from even just coming on the road this far, let alone in this live match situation.
Oh, it doesn't matter. These guys have traveled all over the country. Being on the road is nothing new to them. I've made those journeys down to North Carolina myself many a time. You know, yeah, you're a little stiff after that car ride. Once you get into that ring, once you hear the crowd roaring, it's all business at that point.
And this is Tag Team Wrestling 101, Phantom Audio Tag from Robert Parker Williams. And let's not make any mistake about it. When it comes to tag team wrestling, Robert Parker Williams has made a career of being a tag team specialist. He's won multiple championships with multiple partners in multiple promotions.
And let's give credit where credit's due here as far as Golden Chic goes. You notice they've separated the young man from the two veterans. Take out the younger man, leave the two veterans on the ring, on the apron of the ring, and cut that ring off and beat him down and wear him down.
Yeah, Jordan's in trouble here because he does not have the experience of Hamrick and Boomer Payne. How will he handle the adversity?
Well, I'm sure they've prepared him for it, but again, this young man just doesn't have the overall experience, and Golden Chic knows that. Robert Parker Williams was around during some of the Boomer Payne era. He knows what this man is capable of. He was around during Chris Hamrick's time at ECW. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is not that far from here, so he knows about the career of Chris Hamrick. So the smart thing to do by Golden Chic is to take this young man with very little experience, separate him from the pack, beat him down, and hopefully get the victory.
I think just like you said, I mean, it all attests to even just like that Serengeti-like mentality. I mean, when you ever heard of Gazelle, you try to get that weakest one and try to get the easiest kill, and I think that might be the smart thing that they're doing as they're isolating. Now, if they can only just keep them, cut that ring in half like we're all taught, keep them on the inside of the ring, don't let them get anywhere close to Boomer Payne or Chris Hamrick.
As BC Steel insinuated before this matchup started, Boomer Payne was very influential in Steel and Robert Parker Williams, getting involved in the wrestling business. And before BC became the heathen he was today, Boomer Payne had quite an influence on him. So certainly things are coming full circle here as we see Mambo with a nice, innovative series of offense here.
Hey, you know, as a prominent member of the Heathen Society, please don't insult us like that. Steel's at none of the meetings.
And this young man, Austin Jordan, needs to make a tag because he has sustained a considerable amount of punishment.
And he is definitely in a bad way right now and needs to get to one of his two partners, be it Hamrick or Boomer Payne. I think this young man needs to get a tag sooner. This thing's going to be over.
Notice that this could potentially be a handicap. I mean, you have two complete legends within the business all by themselves. with Boomer Payne and Chris Hamrick, but you have an extra leverage. There's a fourth guy on the floor on this side of Golden Chic, and that's the one and only BC Still. I mean, he's calling plays over here like he's a coach.
Can Jordan create some offense here? Blockbuster, that was dangerous.
But if you notice, I think he came down on his own neck. He didn't get all the way over, and I'm sure the fatigue and the beating that he sustained so far had a little bit to do with that.
You can see both Boomer and Hamrick desperately reaching for that tag.
Austin Jordan has to cover about 3/4 of the ring just to make that tag. The question is, if he gets there, who is he tagging? Is he going for Boom?
There it is.
And the big man coming in, and he's going to knock down anything that stands up.
Boomer Payne is laying the heavy leather at this point. I think we're about to have a meeting of the minds here.
And if you want to know how dangerous Boomer Payne is, the last time he was at Ryse, he actually broke the leg of his opponent, Dirk Ziggler.
There you go, Chris Hamrick. Oh my goodness, a knife-inch chop.
Like we said before, Jimmy, I know firsthand how dangerous the man is. I still got scars across my head from fighting this guy.
Look out here. Signature Chris Hamrick. Island driver from Boomer Payne. But this numbers game is going to be difficult.
Wait a second.
High-flying Hamrick up on the top. Takes out our PW.
Wait a second.
He's got the trunks. Come on, no! Damn it!
Ref didn't see it. Ref didn't see it.
In a time of 10 minutes, 50 seconds, your winners, the trio of Golden Chic International.
Golden Chic pulls a cheap one out of the books here for the victory over a hardcore icon, Boomer Payne, flying Chris Hamrick, and their protege, Austin Jordan.
Well, let's just say one thing. This was definitely not an easy win. Whether you agree with it or not, that's the time called for wrestling. Hey, that's the name of the business. But this was not an easy win for them by any means necessary.
Golden Chic, as much as I hate to say it, they were successful. They have put Ryse on notice.
You know, as much as I hate to agree with the ref, he's right. It ain't cheating if you don't get caught.
Golden Chic victorious, but it is certainly a pleasure and a sincere honor to host Chris Hamrick and Boomer Payne. A Pittsburgh legend and an ECW icon here at Ryse, 2nd anniversary.
Approaching the ring, representing the main event, wrestling out of Harlem, New York, she is the exalted one, Londyn Ali.
Nobody can do it better when you hear that music. You gotta feel it in your spirit, guys. You wanna know why? Because it's the exalted one of the greatest women in this sport today. It is unpredictable in that ring. Personally, I can say it's an honor for her to be a friend of the Revs.
There's Rev trying to group himself with greatness, but the bottom line is you're correct. I'm going to agree with you on this. The Lady Lioness is one of the most formidable forces in Ryse. Male or female, Londyn Ali is a very dangerous athlete. And this rivalry between herself and Jinx will be settled here.
I think once again that's the product herself. She's also a product of First Lance Brandon King.
And her opponent from Fall River, Massachusetts, she is the bloody, adorable Jinx.
She is a charismatic, walking contradiction. She is a cult phenomenon. And she better watch out! We're gonna get this thing started right now! Jinx versus Londyn Ali, the rubber match. This rivalry will be settled. One victory apiece. This will decide the series. And these two young ladies.
And I'll tell you what, we've had a night of rivalries tonight, but I think all of them.
Look out! Londyn hit the post very, very hard.
This may be the most intense rivalry of all the ones we've seen tonight. These two young ladies both have one thing in mind, and that's to prove their dominance not only over one another, but over the men of Ryse and become the first woman to win the Ryse Grand Championship.
And Jinx has taken the insults and assaults from Londyn Ali very personal. Londyn Ali believes that she is entitled to the top spot in the women's division at Ryse, or any division at Ryse for that matter, as you said, Paul.
Notice the match is technically officially just getting started. Both parties getting in the ring for the first time. So a little bit of that back and forth action outside of that ring. I mean, could that play a factor already in just an early bit of how their body's going through some situations here?
And I'll tell you
Situations? What the hell are you talking about? This is a fight.
That's right. The Lily Lioness, she is a member of the main event, and they are all top-notch athletes. And as far as Jinx goes, I've known some crazy chicks in my life, but she's about the craziest I've ever seen, and she even scares me.
And that says something, Paul.
Yeah, you got that right.
And Paul, as you mentioned in the opening moments of this fight, both of these young ladies want to be the first female Ryse Grand Champion. And if you want to secure a title shot, this is the platform to make a statement. But look at the whiplash. Could be an early night. Jinx showing her tenacity. She escapes.
And let's make this point. We're not talking about a women's division champion. These two women want a shot at the male grand champion. They want to prove, once again, like I said before, their dominance over everyone, male or female, in Ryse Wrestling.
I think that speaks volume just on the product of Ryse itself. I mean, you have to think these ladies are looking to go by any means necessary to get what they feel they rightfully deserve, and they're not pulling any punches with any stuff.
Certainly, we've seen these two athletes evolve. We've seen Jinx really find a home here at Ryse. We've seen Londyn Ali take her game to an entirely new level since she became associated with the main event, despite how her attitude has changed along with that. And notice that Londyn Ali is really a top-tier pro when it comes to dictating the pace of a contest. She had the body lock and dragon sleeper simultaneously, looking to wrench, twist, and contort the body of the bloody adorable one.
I think think one thing that we can say just in general, we can't even call it division, we can just call them wrestlers because there's no division that separates them. But one thing we can say about any female within this business, they go through the same amount of pain, if not more, than a guy goes through. We don't change the ring, we don't change the pressure. I mean, that canvas is unforgiving, and the fact that they come out here looking to claim what is theirs, no matter if it's through a male or female, that speaks measures.
Jinx hit the canvas very, very hard and very awkwardly.
I think that jammed her lower spine very much so.
And go ahead, Paul.
I'm sorry. As I've said before, you know, Londyn Ali, when she first came to Ryse, when she first came through the training class of Brandon Kay, as Rev said, she was an accomplished athlete, very, very much so. And since joining the main event, you know, I will give credit where credit is due. I might not like their style, I might not like what they stand for, but I will tell you this, they are all top-notch athletes from the top on down. Whether it's Ganon and Duke, whether it's Tony Johnson, or the Liddy Lioness herself, Londyn Ali, they are all world-class athletes.
Sorry about that. You have to think just because of, you know, their connectivity over time. I mean, each one of them has got better in their own respective way once they became a unit, Jim.
Absolutely, and Paul, you can make note of this. That every time Londyn Ali has Jinx down to the canvas, she will follow up with a cover because that is where you win a matchup like right now.
Exactly. There's no messing around in Londyn Ali's game, that's for sure. She's not here to play games with Jinx. She's here to pin her 1, 2, 3. And again, take that step to becoming the first ever grand champion female in this business.
And vicious body shots from Ali. Looking to drive all the air out of Jinx here. If you can't breathe, you can't fight.
No, not at all. And, you know, I know this may not be politically correct to talk about a woman's weight, but let's face it, Jinx is the much smaller opponent, and Londyn Ali lands those blows with much more force. And it's taken a lot more out of Jinx than I think you realize.
I mean, I think you're still a gentleman. I mean, let's just put it this way. I mean,
wait a minute, Ali charges, ran right into an elbow. Could be a moment of surcease for Jinx, but can she follow up here? Does she have enough left in the tank? And the bloody, adorable one is rolling. Drop kick right to the sternum. Cover here, cover.
Notice something I want to give Jinx credit on. She understands how close Londyn Ali was to the ropes. Pulled both arms in to not give her an opportunity to grab that rope. That's very, very, very ahead of the game.
Exactly. Once again, showing ring presence. That's one of the most important things when you're in that ring. Know where you're at.
Ali sends Jinx into the corner. Body lock. Jinx is in trouble here. Roll through. This is how Jinx won that first matchup. And this time, Ali kicks out.
Let's say that both of those shoulders were down this time. There would have been no controversy.
Look out.
Oh! German suplex.
It's like it was on the back of the neck.
Head over heels.
And once again, that size advantage, if I may say that.
Gets that arm over it.
But that time, Londyn didn't get her full body weight across for a lateral press. Now she does.
And you can see the exhaustion displayed on the faces of both Jinx and Ali.
Now Londyn's showing some frustration here.
We saw Tony Johnson victorious earlier tonight. We've got the main event coming up next. You know that Londyn Ali does not want to be the odd one out here. She wants to keep the main event's momentum rolling throughout this entire anniversary show. A torture rag. This is a throwback maneuver.
Without a doubt.
The spine being bent. This is uncomfortable to watch, to be honest with you.
Shades of Lex Luger. We may have to subtitle that reference later, though.
Oh, DDT!
Planted right on the crown of her head.
Londyn able to kick out again.
Say what you say, we have to give it to both of these ladies. As soon as you think one gets the momentum, all of a sudden there's a big swing. and the crowd is getting behind Jinx. I think Jinx is looking to go to the top, but if I was her, I would try to stay on top of Londyn as much as possible.
Jinx is taking a home run swing here. And that's why you call it high risk. Jinx almost got, and she does get reversed.
Whoa!
What strength by Londyn Ali. That is all core strength
by Jinx.
Jinx has shoulders down.
Both these ladies leaving it all on the line here. There will be no shame to the loser. They have both given it their all.
One thing that I can
Ali's got her up. Ali's got her up. This could be it.
Wow.
And Ali throws all her body weight behind that one.
Wait a minute.
But Jinx hooks the leg. She got her.
Oh my God.
In a time of 7 minutes, 57 seconds, your winner, the bloody, adorable Jinx!
That's all it takes is a split second. Honestly, I'm not about to go ahead it, but Jinx pulled it out right at the last second. That just shows the fighting spirit that's behind both of them. Jinx was able to pull that one out, guys.
A back and forth physical contest.
Again, there's no shame in the game for Londyn Ali. She left it all out, all hang out.
Look out! Ali's got that kendo stick. Jinx doesn't see her. Oh, man! And that kendo stick ricocheting off the body of Jinx. Ali is incensed, and Jinx is gonna get hurt. Security rushing the ring, and she is choking Jinx unconscious.
And Londyn has snapped to a whole new level. If you don't know, now you know.
She is gonna get
She's been
extremely hurt.
suspended once for actions like this. Londyn Ali better watch herself.
At this point in time, it's not all about getting that win or it's all about retribution, vengeance.
And this fight isn't over.
No, not by a long shot.
There is some real hatred between these two.
Londyn Ali is stating she is not done yet with Jinx by any stretch of the imagination. I think we're going to need a riot squad to get these two young ladies apart.
And these ladies want at each other.
Jinx victorious, but this rivalry is not over. I don't know when, I don't know where, but these two are going to tear each other apart again.
Once again, your winner, the bloody, adorable Jinx!
And there's an old slogan, I know both of you guys heard of it. Hell knows no fury like a woman scorned. I guarantee you this will probably not be the last that we see of both these female competitors.
Once again, Rev, I have to agree with you. This is not over by a long shot.
introducing first, representing the main event, at a total combined weight of 525 pounds, individually. First, from Norfolk, Virginia, the meta-human Duke Davis. And from the Florida Keys, Pro Wrestling All-Star, Ganon Jones Jr.
The perfect combination of size, speed, power, and agility. I'll say it again. For my money, the best tag team anywhere in Pittsburgh, bar none, the main event.
Let's face it, over my career, I have faced some of the best tag teams in the country. These two gentlemen are definitely in that class.
You know what, I'll just add on to the real occasion, add on to all three of us agree. I'm fully on with both of you guys. This is one of the top tier, biggest spreads in all of the tag team division by far. These guys have been to Canada, they've been to New York, they've opened for companies that are just now starting with over 2,000 people per crowd and keep it going.
And their opponents, at a total combined weight of 435 pounds, they are System Elite. Individually, from Wolftown, Virginia, the cartoon contender, Tyler Cross. His partner from the south side of Pittsburgh, the new ugly, Edric Everhart.
It is very rare that rankings take a back seat in any matchup. But tonight, at the second anniversary celebration, it is a personal story for System Elite. Can they rebound? Can they redeem? Will the future of System Elite be determined here tonight?
Let's face it, it's not always about how you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. And just looking at their track record, System Elite was never one that stayed down from any type of adversity. I mean, they got back up no matter what it took.
Look out! Everhart launched at the main event. Let's keep in mind the main event had taken out both Everhart and Tyler Cross on different occasions.
And without a doubt, 2018 has not been kind to the System Elite, especially when it comes to the main event. But you can see they're wearing them out right now with some of that frustration.
System Elite has questioned themselves as a tag team. Can they still compete at the highest level after all the injuries, all the setbacks? Can they still hang in there with the best tag teams around? We're going to find that out here tonight.
I mean, that's a real good question that you raised, Jim. You got to think back since the beginning, but right now we're here at the 2-year anniversary mark of Ryse Wrestling. System Elite has been here since day one, but because of injuries and all the setbacks, they're still wondering, do we have it? I think by looking at them right now, they definitely still have it, but it's all about how strong can you finish.
Well, they better figure it out real quick, because if you start to doubt yourself against a team like System Elite, you are definitely going to find yourself on the loser's end of the purse. So Ty and Edric, they better come to grips right now. Can they do this or not?
Well, if you're a betting man, you have to go with the main event for one simple reason. The main event is undefeated at Ryse. Over 2 years undefeated in tag team competition. Whether it be the Philly Marino Experience, whether it be Honey Bear, whether it be Ron Mathis and Bruce Gray, etc., etc., etc. Nobody has defeated the main event in the Stronghold. The main event is money. The main event is batting 1,000. So certainly System Elite have a very steep mountain to climb here tonight.
Let's face this is no easy task to remain undefeated in a company like Ryse with the top-tier talent, top-tier tag teams that have come through that door. You mentioned many of them, Jimmy. It's a very, very difficult task to remain undefeated. And the main event has done that so far. But can System Elite end that party tonight?
I think to add to that, Paul, just in general, I mean, it's hard for 2 years to stay undefeated as a singles competitor, let alone when you need to have that camaraderie as a team, and yet they were still able to do it. I mean, that's a real strong feat.
You're right. These two guys, as you mentioned, have traveled not just the United States, but North America together. They've lived together. They've trained together. They travel together. They eat together. They party together. And that is the main thing about tag teams. You've got to become family. You've got to become one. Like they've said before in this business, when you're traveling the road with somebody so often and so long, family becomes strangers and strangers become family, and that's what they need right now to stay successful.
The main event is tag team continuity personified. And on this stage, on this night, when we've had Super Hentai in the house, we've got Chris Hamrick in the house, we've had tremendous fights all up and down the card. System Elite, they're going to have to ask themselves, are they still as good as they once were? But right now, they are experiencing the main event 101, power and precision. Lateral press here.
Yeah, I know I've sung the praises of the main event just a bit here tonight, but that is not to put down System Elite.
Oh, by no means necessary.
These two guys are, without a doubt, top-tier tag team. They have been for a long time.
They were the standard in the tri-state area when it came to tag team wrestling. It's just the past 12 months have not fared well for System Elite.
Yeah, and when you're on top for so long, every great team, be it a tag team, be it a football team, a baseball team, a basketball team, every so often you're going to hit a low point. But what separates the champions from the contenders and the pretenders are the ones who can rise above that adversity. And that's what System Elite needs to do here tonight. They need to rise above the adversity that they faced in 2018 and get a victory over the main event and get themselves right back in the mix.
And I think it's definitely, sorry to cut you off there, but I think that's definitely a perspective that we need to look at whenever I see Ganon going to work over there in the corner. But I think that's definitely a perspective to look at, is when you look at System Elite, I mean, with any type of wrestler, when you're on top and all of a sudden a situation that's out of your hand, an injury that's out of your hand, all of a sudden sidelines you, you second guess things, you sit at home, you stay awake at night wondering, do I still have it or should I hang in the towel? And then there's sometimes a little light that goes off that says, I need to get back on top by any means necessary. You don't know that you've lost something. You don't know how much it takes to get it back until it's already gone.
And we're going to find out. That's exactly what we're finding out right here. That's what this matchup means. How will System Elite handle that adversity?
So I can definitely sympathize with the Rev. I have been in that position in this business. I have been injured. I have been sitting home on my couch watching the other wrestlers perform night in and night out, doubting myself, wondering, can I get back to where I was? And every time you dig down deep, you train extra harder, you get up at 3 in the morning, you get into that gym and you stay there for 6-8 hours a day training to get yourself back to the top. Because once you've had a taste of success, you always want it.
And right now we are seeing the physical tools of the main event at work. Notice how Ganon Jones Jr. just used his height advantage to put Everhart back down on the canvas.
Not just height, but you notice he's leaning against him with all his body weight. He's making Edric Everhart carry his body weight, wearing him down.
And you can hear Everhart screaming, trying to summon the energy, trying to find it. And we know that System Elite is as resilient as any tag team.
That is a world-class drop kick from a gigantic man.
Ganon Jones Jr. is 6'5", 6'6", and just threw a drop kick as good as anybody in the business today. A tremendous, a beautiful vertical leap.
Not only is he 6'6", but he's got to be at least 275 pounds. That's a big man to get that high in the air.
Absolutely.
And at this pace, it may be a matter of time before the main event puts a punctuation mark on this platform of our 2nd anniversary celebration.
Edric needs to make a tag as soon as he can.
he may not have that opportunity, Rev.
Absolutely, and that's what we're seeing right now. I mean, Duke.
5 minutes gone, 5 minutes.
Duke Davis is staying on him and they're making sure that most they're trying to do is cut that ring off in half, keep him on the side of the main event. And it's just like any other game. When you realize you have the lead, you're not trying to do anything quick or flashy. You're just trying to keep that good old pressure on them all the way until the fourth quarter runs out. That's what the main event's doing right now. They're trying to milk that fourth quarter.
Well, yeah, and here we go. You want to talk about pressure?
Targeting the knee.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Jimmy. The main event has gone after that knee, gone after what they have injured before. And let's face it, whether you're a world-class athlete or not, once a body part has been injured, it is susceptible to injury again and again. And it's
press.
That was very close.
Paul, I don't mean to bring up a sore subject, but you can speak on knee injuries.
Yeah, you know, I just go straight to the x-ray machine at the airport now because I set off every metal detector there is.
How tough is it, both physically and mentally, to come back from such a critical injury? Because if you can't move your knees, you're not competing in athletic competition.
Well, that's your base. That's where your power comes from, the drive in your legs. And when that knee is injured, you lose that power, you lose that base. So it takes extra time. You've got to train your legs in the gym harder than ever to get that power back. But that knee is a very delicate instrument when it comes to the overall construction of a leg. And it can be injured again very easily.
Now, you know, I don't know if you know about
Look out!
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you know about this, Paul, but if you're still having some injuries, the Rev knows a guy. I can reach into the offering. We might be able to purchase you a life link.
Dude, don't you worry about it. I got the best surgeons in the business that have worked on me. I could still probably climb in there and teach you a lesson.
All right, guys, before we get a fight up here, Edric Everhart's in a bad way, and Tyler Cross wants to start a fight in the ring, but Tyler Cross is not doing Everhart any favors.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he can't stand to see his buddy getting beat up much more. I can't really blame Ty for this, but yes, he's falling right into the trap of the main event.
Tag Team Wrestling 101. Something as elementary as a slam just has that added emphasis, that added impact when it's done from someone as tall and as powerful as Ganon Jones Jr.
You gotta think, it's almost like, you ever been younger with my sister and I, we had to sleep in the same room, a bunk bed. I was on the top. I would fall off. I know that sounds a little creepy, but I was in a bunk bed. Would fall off. It's no different. This guy's like, what, like close to 7 feet tall. When you're falling like that, I mean, there's no type of give whatsoever. Just like Paul was stating earlier in the show. I mean, wood, metal, that's everything. All that's going against flesh and bones. There's nothing forgetting about it.
Wait a minute. Everhart avoids the contact.
Big German suplex.
Release German drops Ganon right on his head, but can Everhart make a tag because it's a pivotal point in this contest right here.
And unfortunately, the place where Ganon landed, he's still between Edric and Ty Cross. Edric has got to get up and around Ganon in order to make it to Ty.
And this is that momentum swing that needs to fall in the favor of Sisman Lee, but can they make that tag?
He makes
the tag to Ty Cross. Ganon's still in the ring. Duke tries to come in.
Ganon Jones Jr. is on Dream Street. He's seeing cobwebs. And now it may be payback time for the main event.
Ty Cross has been waiting for this moment to get tagged in by his friend Everett.
Ganon cuts him off. Swing and a miss.
Tag.
There was a blind tag there. There was a blind tag there. Shades of the Midnight Express.
And Cross doesn't realize that it's Duke Davis and is the legal man.
Oh! Big boot to the face.
He got tattooed right between the eyes.
I would not be shocked if his nose wasn't broken.
That's that size 15 that no one wants to talk about. You might see a boot print on his face after this match is all said and done.
And Edric may get bugged here, but he suckered Duke in.
That's right. Notice that tag team experience, suckering Duke Davis in.
System Elite has to be resourceful here. They have to make the most of this opportunity. Springboard face crusher.
He got him. He caught him with all of that.
Notice Duke has not been down. He's trying to get back on his feet. This is insane.
Will System Elite be the first team to defeat the main event?
Wait a second.
Cover!
Whoa!
Did he get him? No!
Just inches away.
10 minutes gone, 10 minutes.
History shows 2, just 2.
Inches away from a historic victory for System Elite.
You can hear some of the fans, they said that's 3, others are saying defense. I don't know what's going on. All I can tell you is that this is one of the greatest matches in the tag team I've ever seen.
I don't know if that was 3 or not, but let's face it, we have no replay in wrestling, so we got to go with what the referee says here.
Wait a minute, I believe Duke Davis may be very hurt right now.
Ganon just looked at the playbook on his wrist. I think Ganon's trying to call for an audible, but it might not be that for System Elite.
Ganon rolls through.
Oh!
That's a big boot
Cross
again.
ran into a boot. Look out!
Oh my God!
Everybody!
That is an incredible move from a man that size.
This is how much this means to the main event. Can they capitalize right here?
Remember, Duke Davis is legal!
Oh my gosh!
2 count again.
Guys, we talk about one of the most intense back and forth matches at all. How about this tag match we're seeing tonight?
I'll tell you what, no matter how this comes out, I have to say emphatically, System Elite is back.
Is he going for it again?
Ganon's looking to end this thing. He's going to take a chance.
Oh, buddy, home. I don't think we've ever seen the main
Look out,
event.
System Elite.
Oh! Sandwich stupid kick.
I don't think we've ever seen the main event in this much trouble here at the Stronghold.
Their 2-year undefeated streak is in serious jeopardy right now.
Without a doubt, this is the most I've ever seen them down and out. I think this could be all over here very shortly.
System Elite looking to put Duke Davis away. Rolling elbow, and Ganon cuts Everhart off. It is a human chess match in the squared circle right now.
Every second counts, just that little bit of them trying to make sure they're on sync. That's all it takes. And Ganon, it's almost like pulling that pull when you're running that I-39 stick play.
And a cross, looking for that sleeper, but can he cinch it in?
Well, the referee is definitely of the law here tonight.
Wait a second.
I mean, what does Ganon has a cooler, and he just smashed Cross right between the eyes with it. Cross just gets dropped to the canvas, and forget about it.
In a time of 13 minutes, 15 seconds, your winners Duke Davis and Ganon Jones Jr., the main event.
Whether you guys like it or not, hey, the heart of it is, sometimes the ref doesn't see everything. They knew exactly what they were doing. Smart move on Ganon's part. They wanted to keep that win streak. Hey, the main event's in the 2-year anniversary show, still being undefeated. I'm touching
by any means necessary. The main event maintains their position as the best tag team in Pittsburgh. But what does this defeat on this stage, on this night, mean for System Elite?
Like I said before, I'll give props to the main event of this victory. But after what we saw tonight, System Elite is definitely back.
And I'll say it one more time. I defy anyone to find a better tag team in any promotion. The main event sets the standard in Pittsburgh for life.
This is all the thing more gold, more. This is all the balling hard in my eye. Why does this word keep my mind straight? Give it that.
Would you like to see my mask? I use it in my experiments. Probably not very frightening to a guy like you, but these crazies, you can't stand it.
How many more bones will you crush? How many lives will you destroy in pursuit of what you call justice? You are the product of everything you fear. Violence, darkness, helplessness.
Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves up.
IndyWrestling.us, in association with the Indie Wrestling Network, brings to you the feature presentation of the second anniversary show. The embodiment of professional wrestling evil, Christian Noir, works to obtain the most powerful piece of Ryse, that Grand Championship. He is sadistic, he is soulless, and he could very well be the next Ryse Grand Champion.
I don't know about that. I mean, Chris Noir actually stated that the Grand Championship was fool's gold, so. See, a certain crowd has mixed reactions. But there's one person they don't have mixed reactions about. That is our Grand Champion, who we're about to see in a couple seconds.
The workhorse of Ryse, the hardest working man in Pittsburgh professional wrestling. A 5-year journey brought him the Grand Championship. But that may stop short here tonight if Noir can employ his demonic nightmare. The biggest night in the history of Ryse sees the Reaper meet Noir in a casket match. Ultra aggressive and ultra talented, but I dare say that this casket match suits Christian Noir. How will the Ryse Grand Champion handle these very unique circumstances with the championship on the line.
And now, wrestling fans from the Stronghold Arena, Lamont Furnace, Pennsylvania, this will be your anniversary of Ryse feature presentation, a casket match to a finish for the Ryse Grand Championship. Here are the rules. To win this match, you must force your opponent inside of that casket and then completely close the lid over him. Introducing to my right the challenger, representing the Grindhouse from the French Quarter, Louisiana, weighing 200 pounds. He is the Bayou Scarecrow, Christian Noir. His opponent to my left, the defending Ryse Grand Champion from Derry, Maine, weighing 215 pounds. He is the Reaper, Matt Conard.
We have seen Matt Conard, cold, calculated, and focused. This may be the first time we've ever seen someone get inside the head of the Ryse Grand Champion. And Noir immediately spews that mist on that hand, and he may look to smother the champion. There's the opening bell. Ryse Grand Championship, Ryse second anniversary show. My name's Jim Lamont, being joined by the legendary athlete, Mr. Paul Atlas, and the Rev Ron Hunt. A casket match. Noir, Conard, there must be a winner. And the only way there will be a winner is when someone is thrown into that macabre structure at ringside, that solid wooden casket. And quite frankly, gentlemen, with that casket being out here, I got the creeps.
Well, here we go. We've got the Bayou Scarecrow, the Reaper. This has overtones of voodoo. This has overtones of creatures of the night. And I know this must be really hard on you, Rev. There's a lot of mystical powers and evil powers at work here tonight.
You know what? If we had a camera up here, you would honestly see the goosebumps that are on my arm, and I'm actually glad that I'm this far up. I mean, just looking at the mask that Christian Noir put all around ringside, and then knowing the spirit. Wait a second.
Conard's trying to get him up in that casket and end this thing early.
Now, I understand the mission of it is not only do they have to go into the casket, but they have to close the door over their competitor as well. So just because they go in doesn't necessarily mean that it will be over.
Yeah, absolutely. The lid needs to be shut completely for there to be a winner determined. Of course, referee Josh Payne, one of the best referees in Pittsburgh, the poor soul that was assigned this contest. And as I said, the psychological warfare of this matchup is paramount. And Conard just hit that solid casket. And as I said, I feel very uneasy right now. There is a casket out here which gives me the creeps.
You're not the only one, brother.
Am I the only one comfortable with this?
Now, I mean, if this is your usual,
Conard
show.
Conard was teetering on the edge of that casket.
And to this point, Matt Conard has beaten by pinfall or submission every opponent that Ryse has put in front of him. But this match is much, much more different.
Look out.
This match.
Conard may be looking to heave the body of Noir into that casket. But to your point, Paul, in this scenario, it's not about pinfall or submission.
No, it is not.
And that could put the champion at a distinct disadvantage.
Very much so. Like I said, he's managed to win by pinfall or submission. He can pin Noir as many times as he wants. He can lock as many submission holds as he wants to onto him.
Yeah, that heel hook.
But it doesn't matter if you cannot get him into that casket and close the lid.
Oh! Noir up and over, and Paul, let's not forget about it. It was just 2 weeks ago, that very macabre scene which scared the hell out of me when Noir and Shirley Doe introduced that casket. So certainly you have to think this stipulation favors Noir. And Noir is in the casket, but the lid must be shut, and we could be moments away.
Wait a second.
His hand is still sticking out of that
Nick Davidson and Josh Payne have... Oh, wait a minute. Noir just I don't know if that was he spewed a mist or threw a powder. Either way, the mission was accomplished. The champion is blind. The champion cannot see, and the challenger is going to exploit this advantage.
Here's something we seem to forget. We look at Grindhouse. We look at them as these maniacal individuals who the only thing they care about is maiming people. But you've got to understand this. This group is driven by one Shirley Doe. Shirley Doe is not. He's a very smart individual. He's a very cold and calculating individual. And he's passing these skills on to the Beastman, to Christian Noir, and even that little psycho chick, Meg Meyers. So there is a method to all their madness. You can be guaranteed of that.
And Conard could be moments away from losing that championship.
We got fans standing up because everyone is saying, listen, it could go the other way, it could not.
Conard doing everything he can to brace himself from falling into that casket right now.
The Reaper fighting with a sense of urgency. He knows exactly where he is. We know he's a ring general. That's why he's the champion. And a sense of desperation here. Noir telegraphed it and made Conard pay. I said it before and I'll say it again. Conard is as cold as ice. He is always prepared. He is always very calculated. But I believe in this scenario, a rare time where an opponent is inside the head of Matt Conard. Clearly, Noir's mind games are affecting the strategy of the champion.
Well, not only that, but I hate to say this, but this type of match can favor the challenger, not the champion. Because once again, we have seen Conard, the master of submission holds, master of gaining pinfalls. None of that matters tonight. None of it matters at all. You've got to put that man in a casket and slam the lid shut. So I would have to say right now, this can benefit Christian Noir.
And notice how Noir is taking a perverse pleasure in twisting, contorting the neck of the champion. And Conard grasping onto that bottom rope to avoid being hurled into the casket. Again, you're going to see urgency, you're going to see desperation, you're going to see scratching and clawing, because Conard has to do anything that he can, anything possible to avoid that casket if he wants to remain the grand champion.
I can say from a personal perspective, I mean, I've unfortunately had the opportunity to get in the ring with Matt Conard. I fell short of that victory, and that was something that took me to a whole new spiritual battle. I've had the opportunity to be on both.
Oh, nasty neck breaker.
I've had the opportunity to be on both sides of it, both on the opposite, sides of the ring with Christian Noir, as well as in our former life, be able to hold some titles with them. Not many people can match the unpredictable era of the Reaper Matt Conard, except for people like Christian Noir. These are both evenly matched people, and this could go either way.
The title that matters right now is that Ryse Grand Championship, which is why these two have resorted to this situation. I mean, think of how morbid this is. Someone will find themselves sealed in a casket before this night is over. And Noir showing no fear for his well-being, hurls his body at the champion, and Conard hits the canvas yet again.
Noir has no fear for anything, but at certain times, sometimes you put your life in hands that aren't quite yours. But this is what it's all about. Just like you said, he does not care. He's putting his body out there. That's how much getting that Ryse Grand Championship means to him.
Well, not only that, but there's a voodoo-like presence to Christian Noir. I seriously think this man talks to spirits. I seriously think he summons spirits at times, and they live within his own body. I've never seen an individual like this before. I'm not fanatical. I'm not into different types of religions, but I honestly believe that at times this man is somewhat possessed.
You would be surprised. Share a locker room with him, you see some things you have never seen before.
Noir drives the champion into the canvas. And let's not forget, Noir wants the Grand Championship because he can use that to terrorize and torture all of Ryse. The ultimate chip to play with the ultimate symbol of power here in this promotion is that Grand Championship, which is exactly what Noir wants to exploit.
And I don't know if it's because he wants the Grand Championship or because, as we've said in the past, Grindhouse seems to want to ruin everything in Ryse. They want to ruin events. They want to ruin matches. And I think maybe deep down, by possessing the Grand Championship, they think that will be the ultimate way to ruin Ryse Wrestling.
Well, certainly it'd be no surprise if Noir wants to scorch the earth. But we are seeing the result of the physical contest right now. A casket match leads to what you're seeing right here. Two of the most intense athletes we've seen in the Stronghold are gonna fight it out.
Conard landing those big blows now to Christian Noir.
Can Conard exorcise the demon of Christian Noir? You can hear the contact. Noir puts on the brakes. And just a mid-ring collision. Physicality personified.
Like two cars crashing on the interstate.
And that was a very sick thud as the boot of Conard connects with the sternum of the challenger.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of time to think for Matt Conard to get him over there. I mean, the amount of damage that's been done to both competitors, but right now this particular system, particularly to Christian Noir, I mean, that's a lot of dead weight you have to try to roll to the other side of the ring just to get into that casket. It seems like Christian Noir is staying in the fight and is not giving up by any means necessary.
And a nasty tactic right there from Noir, fish hooking the eye of the champions to avoid that casket.
Well, you've got to do whatever you can to stay out of that casket. I mean, there's really no rules involved here. There's no sportsmanship involved in this whatsoever. It's whatever you have to do.
Yeah, certainly. If it's not obvious by now, it's no disqualification. Anything goes.
I'm sorry, but I'm kind of caught off guard. Christian Noir just told the refs to close the casket. They can't quite win the match, but I think he's looking to do more.
Noir is looking to end Matt Conard one way or another.
I don't know if he cares about putting him in it or he just wants to end his career.
They're standing on that casket, and Noir launched back into the ring. Conard looks exhausted, and I can't blame him.
I don't think that was the game plan that Noir wanted. It seemed like he wanted to do something way more violent than that.
Springboard clothesline, and Conard is finding a second gear. But wait a minute, he's clutching. Absolutely, Paul. He immediately clutched his knee.
You have to wonder at the end of this, will either one of these two men ever be the same again?
Well, certainly these two individuals are leaving parts of their soul in the squared circle.
I'm saying with years of not close to decades of dealing with people just in a normal life and also wrestling, dealing with life and death, I've never had one person come to me that willingly said, Rev, I want to be in the coffin. It's not your normal thing you would hear in the casket. It's not your normal thing.
Innovative offense from Noir, again, hurling his body, sacrificing his body to inflict damage on Matt Conard. And again, that perverse smirk. Noir taking pleasure in this situation, which shows you how much of a sicko he really is. I don't know if anyone will ever understand just how twisted the mind is of Christian Noir.
Seems like he's under the ring looking for something. Got a chair?
Got a chair there, yes. He does. What's he still looking?
Noir's incensed, and whatever he has planned does not bode well for Matt Conard. Look out!
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, I won't be surprised if his back is broken half.
That chair ricocheting off the spine, a sick impact.
The metal wrapping across.
Come on, this is taking us too far.
Unfortunately,
look out!
There are no rules here, Jimmy. So this is all perfectly legal.
This could legit just be a matter But then this business championship-wise of life versus death, someone is going to leave with their hand held high and a title in their hand. Someone's going to leave with nothing.
And what is so demented is Noir is enjoying this. Conard is in the casket. If the lid closes, it's over.
This might be over. No, not yet. Noir is so close yet so far away. Reaper having a hand right on the door of that casket.
Look out, Conard. He just head scissored Noir into the casket.
Both men. Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
What? Both men are in the casket.
Now wait a minute. We can't declare a winner. We can't declare a winner because it's the man that puts their opponent in the casket.
Wait a second. The Reaper's not done.
I think we finally.
He's not done.
I don't know.
And at this point, who is going to escape the casket? Because I believe Noir has just... Conard now has the advantage.
Guys, this is going a complete unpredictable route. I don't know who will be your champion, but they both seem to be going. Noir has a hand on the leg of Matt Conard.
Noir looking to drag the Reaper to hell.
He said, if I'm going, you got to go with me.
And you can hear those shots.
Oh!
Like that one right there.
Exactly. These two men are leaving it all on the line. But wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Noir.
He's out of that casket now.
Oh my God!
That win right to the lumbar region of the back.
And let's not forget he just punished him with 4 or 5 chair shots right before this.
Conard may not be able to stand much longer.
Man, he may never walk again if this keeps up.
I mean, even outside of this, regardless if there's bloodshed or not, you got to think the amount of internal damage.
Noir just hurled one of the officials out of the way.
Conard is barely not inside that casket. That lid is just resting on top of him, I believe, at this point.
Noir's not done with his punishment. You guys see he put another chair in the ring. We got 3 chairs in the ring.
I think this guy has completely lost whatever mind he has.
I sincerely believe that Noir is looking to end the career of Matt Conard. Noir, one way or another, wants to break the grand champion.
It's one thing to want to win a match. It's one thing to want to win a title. It's another thing to want to take a person fully out of commission for the rest of their career.
And I think that is exactly what Christian Noir has in mind here.
What is he doing? All 4 chairs stacked.
Setting him up here for.
And Conard could be fighting for his career.
Is he gonna? I think he's going to try to suplex him onto these chairs. Conard trying to block it.
Look out. Conard saved his life in that exchange.
But after all the punishment his back has taken, is he going to be able to continue to stand and fight? And I think at this point, Matt Conard's running on sheer adrenaline.
Look out. Noir avoids the contact. There's that
miss to the hand once again.
He may be looking to smother the champion here. And he got it. He's covering the mouth and the nose. The champion is being asphyxiated. He's being suffocated. Look out!
Oh, right on those chairs.
Oh my gosh. You got to think the constant damage to the back of Matt Conard.
Conard, he has to be out of it.
He's got to worry about more than winning or losing a championship here. He's got to worry about the fact that will he ever walk again, taking that much punishment to his back.
You guys got to think, I'm just looking at the diaphragm of Matt Conard. The deeper those breaths are, you got to think each and every inhale and exhale. That's pressure in that area, and Christian Noir is continuing to go to it.
Conard could be out of it here.
I think he is.
He may have no idea where he's at. He may wake up in that casket.
I believe we're going to have a new grand champion here in just a matter of moments.
Will Noir's nightmare come to fruition?
Wait a sec. No! There's still a hand. Guys, I don't know. This is something I've never seen before. This is completely unreal.
And you know what? I think for the first time ever, I think Christian Noir is genuinely afraid at this point. He doesn't know what he has to do to put Matt Conard away, and I think he's scared to death at this point.
And Conard just snatched Noir by the throat.
Oh no.
Look out.
Oh no.
The Reaper may put Noir to rest.
Both these men teetering on the apron. This could go either way.
Noir looking to smother the champion. Conard continues to fight. They are teetering above that casket. And Noir is in the casket.
Can he get that lid closed?
Still.
Now Noir has a handout.
Conard just pounding away on the digits, on the appendages of the challenger, stomping on the hands. What a physical casket match.
And I don't care which one of these guys walks out of here with the Grand Championship, they will never physically be the same again after this.
Can Conard close that way? He does it!
No! I thought that was it, but it's not. Christian Noir still has a hand.
This demon has risen yet again.
You gotta thank our champion. What more? Oh!
That has to be it. And it is
finally over. Noir is in the casket. Conard is still the champion.
20 minutes, 18 seconds. Your winner is still Ryse Grand Champion, the Reaper, Matt Conard.
What a match. What a way to end the Ryse second anniversary show. Your winner and still Ryse Grand Champion, Matt Conard, the Reaper.
Gentlemen, it has been a historic evening. 24 months, 2 years of Ryse has come down to this. We gotta get out of here. My name's Jim Amata for Paul Atlas from the Reverend Hunt, IndyWrestling.us, the Indie Wrestling Network in association with Smart Mark Video. We will see you in 2019, January 5th, 2019. This is Ryse Wrestling. We are Ryse. Matt Conard, the Ryse Grand Champion.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.